Hey everybody, what is going on? Hexlex here with another Master Duel video. So, funnily enough, I wasn't even aware that this was going to be the case. I literally just opened Master Duel to actually record the next video I was about to record and get some games in, and then I saw a little notification thing, and then I opened it and thinking like, oh, it might just be like a regular maintenance thing or something. No, it was definitely not a regular maintenance thing. I definitely was floored to see a whole bunch of announcements here, including an upcoming Forbidden and Limited list. I did go to the Discord shortly afterward and confirmed that this is in fact a, not just for the Secret Seas Festival. As you can see, that's got its own Forbidden Limited list announcement. This is a Forbidden Limited list announcement for Master Duel as a whole. That's right, we're already getting another ban list update, which is definitely not something I was expecting at all. I don't think any of us were. It's been about a month since the last one, and honestly, I'm not opposed to it in any way, shape, or form. I think that regular and even not necessarily scheduled, but sporadic sometimes, as is necessary, Forbidden Limited list updates are the way to go, honestly, with most digital card games in general. But especially with Yu-Gi-Oh! And especially with Master Duel in particular, where we kind of already know where the format is quote-unquote going, right? Because, we're playing a iteration of past TCG/OCG formats, not exactly, particularly as the Master Duel Forbidden and Limited list continues to update. It continues to become more and more its own kind of unique format, which definitely needs to be being a best of one format. So, what exactly got changed? Let's go ahead and just jump straight into it, right? So, we have the September 30th is going to be when the new list rolls out. Okay, so that'll be right around the time of the new season there, just like last time. Cards to be forbidden. Crystron, Halq, Fibrax. Wow, that is only one new banned card, but that is one huge card to be banned. Halq is finally gone. A lot of people definitely think that finally is the key part of that sentence, because Halq has been running rampant and allowing for lots of combos for a very long time. So I'm not going to lie, I definitely do like Halq-based decks. I think they're a lot of fun, just the combos you can pull off. But at the same time, just because I think they're fun doesn't mean I necessarily agree that they're healthy or anything for the format. So I'm not particularly glad to see Halq go, but it's definitely more than understandable, honestly. I did like Adventure 10D a whole lot, and I will definitely be playing a little bit more this season just to get one last hurrah in with it, but, honestly, it's fine. It'll allow for a lot of other kind of combo decks to flourish in the format, as opposed to the Halq Don kind of being the de facto, not just for other, 10E based decks, or Sword Soul decks or stuff like that, but also in general, combo based decks kind of had to stack up to Halq Don, right? You kind of compare it to Adventure 10E's inboard in that regard. It's is your combo deck better than Halq Don? If not, then what is it doing unique that makes it worth using? You kind of had to always ask that question with any kind of combo based deck. But with Halq gone, that's really going to open the floor for, ideally, hopefully, it's going to open the floor for a lot of new combo decks to kind of see experimentation. So that is the only card that is banned here. So I don't know. It's I feel like there should be much more to say, but at the same time, really, what is there more? It's something we kind of all seen coming at this point, and hopefully this will allow for more tuners that are on the ban list to become unbanned over the course of time as well. Alright, so cards to be limited. Water Enchanters of the Temple. Again, only one card, but still a fairly significant change here. We're seeing Water Enchanters, and of course you've got this huge semi-list. We'll get to that in a moment here, as well as these two cards which are going to be unlimited. But Water Enchantress of the Temple to be limited from 2 copies down to 1. So again, I was honestly pleasantly surprised to see this change already. I kind of expected this maybe another month or so down the line, seeing Water Enchantress and or Right limited. I think just Water Enchantress limited is totally fine for the time being, especially with such a I don't know, I see such a sudden change. I mean, I guess it has been quite a while hasn't it, since the adventure pack came out. So yeah, now that I think about it, no, this is probably about the best time to start hitting that engine there. I think like with the DPE engine, with Destiny Fusion going from 2 to 1, this won't kill the adventure engine by any means. You'll definitely still see it around. You might see it a little less frequently, or just decks featuring the adventure engine a little less frequently than you would before. You kind of already will by virtue of Halq being banned, right? Because Adventure Tendy won't really be around at all. Adventure Pile isn't really a thing anymore with Halq being banned. I mean, you can still maybe pull off some kind of like Adventure Tendy or Pile deck, but definitely not nearly the same iteration that it was before. To be fair, actually, Adventure Tendy, you can totally just still do the Galaxy Tomahawk. You're just gonna have to lean really hard into that. So we might actually end up doing that now that I think about it. You could just play a second Galaxy. Okay, like talking myself into it now. Suffice it to say, they're going to be played very differently if they are still around, which I think they might be. We'll see. We'll just have to see, as with all things. But the Water Enchantress being limited again, I think we're still going to see relatively the same amount of Adventure Engine, just like again with Destiny Fusion going from 2 to 1. We still see relatively the same amount of DPEs running around. That said, you do see a little bit less of it just because of also decks that were using the DP engine, like Adventure Pranks, got hit, and we don't see it as much, so we don't see DP as much in that regard. I think it's going to be the same with Water Enchantress again. The limiting of Enchantress itself doesn't make the engine unplayable by any means, but by virtue of it and also Halq getting hit, a lot of decks that would use it are going to see significantly less play, so... Alright, now down here are the 2 cards to be semi-limited. Now we see quite a few here. Let's go ahead and just go through it kind of bit by bit here. So Rivalry and Gozen are the ones we see right at the top here, and that's honestly pretty rad. Yeah, so obviously these Floodgate type cards are being targeted more and more recently on the ban list, which I think for a best of 1 format is fine. Given that with the prevalence of decks like Eldritch, you really do have to main deck Harpy's Feather Duster and or Lightning Storm, or like Twin Twisters, or like maybe Cosmic Cyclone. You have to main deck some kind of back row hate in most decks, just because again, being best of 1, you never know when you're going to come up against Eldritch. You won't have a games 2 or 3 a side deck to go into to side that stuff in. So in that regard, it kind of limits deck building, not by a huge amount, but by a noticeable amount. Even 1 card, can make the difference of like, oh, do I put in this new tech I want to try? Do I want to put in this extender? Or wait, no, I have to put in Harpy's Feather Duster because I need it, because I'm a combo-based deck, and I want to win against Eldritch at least some of the time. So, it's always nice to see that these Floodgates are getting at least, noticed. I don't think that cards like Rivalry and Gozen need to go to like 1. I think them being at 2 is fine. Skill Drain is like one of those cards. It's at 2 right now, where it's like, I could see a world where that goes to 1 in Master Duel specifically. I think it's probably still fine at 2, maybe, but I guess time will tell on that. But like Vandy's getting banned, I think we all agree that was in Imperial Order. Those were definitely good hits there, so... We're seeing Raigeki go to 2 as well. It makes sense, we have Lightning Storm at 3. I don't see why Raigeki can't be at 3. Raigeki sees pretty much no play because Lightning Storm exists. Trishula going to 2, Zenmaity going to 2. Wow, Zenmaity going to 2. That's interesting. Is that still like banned in the TCG, I think? It might have gotten unbanned recently, but I know this card was banned for a long time. Even though windups really aren't like an issue anymore. So long as the hand loop isn't a thing anyway. The ABC Dragon Buster going to 2 is fine. Trickstar Light Stage Red Reboot. Pancratop's going to 2. That's actually... Oh, Double Iris went to 2 as well. Those are fairly significant, honestly. The Pancratops is noteworthy because we do see a decent amount of it in Master Duel already, right? Between like some Sky Striker variants use it. The Kaiju Lunalight, Danger Kaiju Lunalight. That deck definitely tends to make use of it. Pancratops is definitely a pretty decent card, again, particularly in like a best of 1 format. So that card going to 2 is actually a bigger deal than it might seem. Red Reboot, well, if I can talk, is kind of to an extent, a slightly big deal, but like, no, definitely Pancratops. I would definitely expect to see more copies of this. Double Iris Magician going to 2 is a pretty significant boost to Pendulums as well. Looks like we got the Orcust Harpor going to 2, and of course Spiral Quick Fix. I didn't mean to gloss over that. I just don't know quite as much about Spiral as some of these other decks. But yeah, so we're seeing these cards that were you know, again, floodgates that we're maybe seeing a little bit too much. I don't know if I want to say too much play, but yeah, you know, arguably too much play. We're seeing those getting hit, and then a bunch of stuff getting lifted off that is totally fine and just boosts their respective archetypes. Same with beginning of end and harmonizing magician going to 3. So yeah, that's pretty rad. So I think this is a really solid update, especially for like a relatively like sudden and or short notice one, or just the fact that it hasn't been that long since the last update, the last banlist update even. I think this is a good like little hit here. Honestly, I think these were hits that they were probably thinking of adding. I can see, you know, the more I look at this list, the more I actually kind of see why we're getting it like a month after the last one, right? Because there's just enough here where I can see a world where they're like, you know, they want to make these semi-limit changes, but maybe not all at once with like the previous changes as well. And then I can see where they were maybe on the fence of like banning Halq and limiting Water Enchantress on the last list, and then thought, well, you know, maybe they wanted to see more data of how games played out on ranked ladder to then determine if those would be correct hits. So I think this list is overall a great sign for the state of the Master Duel meta and how Konami is treating it. It's definitely not what I was expecting. I gotta be totally honest with you. I don't think any of us really were, especially after that first ban list. But, you know, looking back retroactively, you know, hindsight being 2020 and all that, it definitely makes sense, right? It makes sense that that first Master Duel ban list, they were rather hesitant and only semi-limited / limited a few things because the format was still new, and we really only had the one format, right? The first like 5 months of Master Duel was all like pretty much the same format, with, you know, Sword Soul Tenyi, or the Sword Soul coming out in towards the beginning of season 5 being like the real first significant meta shakeup. I think it would have been a good thing for Konami to just kind of say like, hey, we're in beta for these first few months, because that's pretty much what we were in. And it definitely seems like the ban list kind of reflected that as well, of like, okay, this is kind of what we want to, you know, do moving forward initially, just because we've only had the one format so far, but then you know, not wanting to make significant changes before new cards, particularly new heavy impact cards on the meta like Sword Souls came into the game. So yeah, again, you know, in the moment it was kind of like, hey, Konami, we've been so long without like content, this ban list is kind of sparse, what's going on? But, you know, now looking back retroactively, I do think it makes more sense. And again, seeing this update this soon after the last one, very, very promising. I am rather hopeful for Master Duel, honestly, right now, which is a pretty awesome thing to say, you know? It's really easy to be hard on Konami and Yu-Gi-Oh! In general. Not that it's, like, undeserving, don't get me wrong, all the time. But in any case, yeah, this is a nice bit of optimism, I feel, kind of moving forward as far as like how the game is going to be treated, how it's going to be updated, and how closely Konami is actually monitoring the meta. So all right, whew, wow, that is a lot already, but we still have more even then to go through. Let's go ahead and go back here and take a look at some of these other updates here. The Synchro NXTs Festival, that's actually coming up in just a few days here. And I feel like, as always, I'm just like kind of going to scramble to figure out what deck I'm going to play for this festival here. So let's see. So the Synchro NXTs Festival, oh, they changed the duel limit, or the time limit, to 300 seconds again. That's interesting. Okay, so there's an exclusive ban list. Oh, we get a Quibble Hedgehog mate. That's cool. And then yeah, the usual title and stuff. Okay, so yeah, the ban list isn't going to be on this page. Let me... Okay, I'm going to pull up Master Duel Meta real quick over here and see if the ban list is on here for the Synchro NXTs Festival. If it's readily accessible on the site, I don't think it is, because I don't see it. So we're going to have to look that up. Let's see here. See, here's the thing, right? We can go to the actual page, but like it's going to be a bit of a pain to find it, because it's going to be, unless they actually like fix this up. Hang on, let me see here. Event info, Forbidden Limited, the list. Oh my God, they actually did that. Okay, cool. Oh nope, never mind. Is it still just all the fusion monsters and stuff? Okay, cool. I thought for a second that they were going to actually put only like the band like Synchro. I guess we'll just look for Synchro NXTs monsters, right? because those are going to be most of the major changes. Okay, we are seeing like the same like self mill stuff being banned. I see macro and defissure here. Those caught my eye. Let me scroll back up here real quick. See, okay, there's necroface and skill drain. I don't really like doing it this way. I'd rather just show you all a list, but okay, Amazon is, I think that's already banned actually. Amazon is Archer. There's anti-spell fragrance. I saw a bad reaction to Samachi. Okay, so let's see. Let's keep going here. There's, I think Magical Explosion was already banned as well. Barrier statues, that makes sense. Nurse, there's Fossil Dyna. That's pretty standard stuff for festivals. Herald, Summon Limit. Zombie World is banned. Gozen is banned. Let's see, what else do we have here? Grave of Super Ancient is banned. Christia's banned. I don't know if that was banned already. Pot of Duality's banned. Let's see. Hyper Librarian is banned. Okay, that's definitely an exclusive for the ban list there. So for the format, the event, that one. Stygian Dirge, I saw that one as well. Okay, Planet Pathfinder is banned. There's Grizel Prison. Artifact Scythe, I see that one. Monarchs Erupt and the band Played On, that makes sense. Clifford Scout. Domain also makes sense. I'm actually not seeing that many Synchro or Xyz monsters on here. Kaiju stuff is banned. Pantheism is banned. Looks like they're leaving relatively... I guess that makes sense for the Synchro and Xyz festival, that you can kind of afford to leave more stuff unbanned at that point. Starvin... Oh, wait, there's a fusion. Never mind. That you can, like, leave more stuff. Eater of Millions is banned. What else do we have here? Huh, yeah, really, not seeing that many Synchro or Xyzes at all, unless I just missed them all. Spectre Border, Contact C. Subterra Guru, yep, makes sense. Just hitting all the, like, stun decks, looks like. Time Lords, yep. Again, just more, like, stun or general, like, annoyance, I guess, type decks. But, okay, there's... No, Ib was already banned, right? I saw the... Where is it? Yeah, the... this thing, Gizmek is banned. The Carlton of the Old Man, jeez. Yeah, that just makes me think of like Mystic Minds shenanigans that are happening with TCG. Okay, Protoss and the other Arch Nemesis are banned. Eldritch is banned. Okay, so not like... Oh, and then, okay, Wandering Griffin Rider is banned. Okay. So yeah, actually not like too many Synchro or Xyz monsters themselves are banned. It looks like it's mostly just like, kind of the standard stuff we see banned for festivals, which is just like, again, like self-destruction or like stun type strategies got hit. Oh yeah, we gotta see what's limited and semi-limited as well, of course. If any additional things did get limited or semi-limited, I kind of don't really see anything, honestly. Oh, Flaundery stuff. How many people are looking at this and being like, if only? This is like the dream ban list right here. Yeah, it looks like it was really just like Flaundery stuff that got limited. And then what about semi-limited? Anything in particular? No, it doesn't really look like it. So yeah, it looks like they went pretty light on the ban list for this event here, which again kind of makes sense given that it's both Synchro and Xyz. Like, there's going to be a wider swath of things that are going to be good, just of course due to the nature of there being a wider swath of things that are available there. So yeah, there's that. The other Forbidden Limited List update, of course, for the event exclusively there. Again, that event's coming in just 3 days. Yeah, this was another thing that I saw. Cards that can be generated. Certain cards, such as Pot of Greed, that are forbidden under the current standard Forbidden Limited List, will be able to be generated from the following date, September 30th. So what does that mean? That means that now in the traditional duel rooms, you can actually craft traditional cards. Now, they are still going to cost full craft points. So banned cards that are ultra still going to cost you 30 craft points. So honestly, if you're going to be looking to play traditional games, which I actually might if there's enough I guess kind of demand for it, if you guys want to see some traditional gameplay with cards that were banned, definitely let me know. I would be down to do some of that. I'll probably do some of that either way, honestly, but yeah, I'm going to be making a separate account for that because I'm not going to be spending my craft points from this account on that. And I definitely would recommend that those of you who are looking to play traditional games, do the same. Just personal, I guess, piece of advice there. Unless you really are just like, you know, have an infinite amount of craft points, I guess, or are a whale and just have an infinite amount of money, more or less, then I guess go for it. But in any case here, the new structure deck, Spellbook of Prophecy. I'm actually kind of excited about this one. I like Spellbooks a fair bit. It looks like that's actually coming in just a few days here with the update that brings us both the Synchro and Xyz Festival. So let's see what's all in here. Crowley, Fortune Lady Every, Spellbook of Secrets, Spellbook of Knowledge. Yeah, so I'm actually totally down for this pack, or for this deck, rather. Definitely going to be picking up a few copies of it, and definitely expect to see some content with this deck. I definitely want to add this to kind of like my repertoire of decks that I like to play there. Spellbooks are... I only played them very briefly in the actual like TCG, but my time playing them was like such a fun deck, Alright, I think the one last bit that we had here was... additional method of obtaining Spellbook of Judgment, revision of the Forbidden Limited list. So let's see here. Oh, okay. So it's saying Spellbook of Judgment is going to 1. Ooh, whoops, hang on. Let me read that again. Yeah, this one I was a little bit confused about as to why it wasn't on the other list here. The following forbidden cards previously people side presets measure. You're gonna play. So okay, so Spellbook of Judgment is just going to 1 or only in the structure deck? Because like I know that Magic the Gathering has done that before, where it's like, you know, they ban a card that was in a structure deck, but they were still like, you can play this card, but only if you play exactly the structure deck. Is that what's happening here with Spellbook of Judgment, or is Spellbook of Judgment just at 1? Huh. I don't really... I guess we'll have to see. I feel like this doesn't clearly explain it. This like wall of text right here just kind of like went straight over my head. I'm not gonna lie to you all, but yeah, I guess if that is actually going just going to 1 period, that's definitely a pretty interesting change, because Spellbook of Judgment is a very powerful card, and I think that could... I mean, just the fact that it's coming back will cause Spellbooks to see more play, but... well, actually, I think it could actually single-handedly push them up to like rogue status, or like maybe more like upper rogue status, where they then have a much more decent shot of being able to make diamond / potentially diamond 1 with the right pilot. So okay, I believe that is all of the changes. Yeah, so that's all of the changes to the game there. Definitely some significant ones coming in the near future, though, especially to the ban list here. Again, I really like these changes. I'm really optimistic about Master Duel moving forward after seeing that we're getting this update here. Of course, we were expecting the Synchro and Xyz Festival and the, like, you know, the Spellbook structure deck from leaks, but seeing this ban list be implemented, Halq of all things getting banned, and Water Enchanters getting limited, as well as all this stuff getting semi'd, like that's pretty rad. I'm really, really stoked to see where Master Duel continues to go moving forward. But yeah, so thank you for watching to the very end of the video like this, guys. I really, really appreciate that, especially to those of you who are commenting and or subscribing. Those are huge helps to the channel there, and just mean a lot to me personally. You know, comments definitely let me know what you think of the ban list here, and what decks you think will kind of like die, and or what other decks will kind of like flourish under the changes, particularly of Halq being banned. Of course, that being the huge one, with Halqdon no longer being a thing again. Auroradon is still around, so we can still access it with like number 42 Galaxy Tomahawk and maybe some certain other plays. So yeah, just let me know what you think is going to be the most significant changes, what decks you're planning on trying out under the new ban list, and just what you think in general. I would love to hear from you guys as always. But yeah, that is going to go ahead and do it for this one. So without further ado, this is XLex. I'm signing out. Hope you guys have a fantastic day.